Train by day, Kyle Wigington podcast by night, all day.
What if I don't like them?
Then tell
I'm just joking.
everybody.
I'm pretty sure I like them. So I got some gifts today. You're the first person that's brought me something on the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's so dope. Look at these.
Honored.
How do we do? I wonder if they can see this. Get at her for your cookie needs.
Yes. They're delicious. Hopefully we'll test them. You'll test them.
God, it's so pretty. Like you really took time to do this.
I handed out like a couple hundred, not 100, but
I almost want to rip it open.
Oh, do it. You can also just pull on the
different
string and
kinds?
untie. Yeah. So the first one is that chocolate chip, potato chip, marshmallow.
Oh, Clara Kelley, everyone.
Oh yes, I am Clara Kelley.
Yeah, she's
I make cookies.
What? No, she doesn't make it. She's one of the comedians that comes in too. Like, okay, what's this one?
Cranberry orange oat.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that one's I think my favorite just because I'm not a huge fan of chocolate chips. I have to like feed them to my partner and be like, is this enough chocolate per cookie? Because it's way too much chocolate for me.
It's good. It's good.
Good.
You save the rest of that one for later. What's this one?
Chocolate chip, potato chip, marshmallow.
What?
Yes, trust me.
What?
You need that like bit of salty crunch. It really works.
Say it again. Chocolate chip, potato chip, marshmallow.
Yes.
Interesting. Is there real potato chips in there?
Yes, Ruffles, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh my God. That's really good.
Glad you like it. They're both, they're vegan, by the way. I only bake vegan.
I don't even know what that means.
You're not eating animal products.
Oh.
So they're healthy.
Whatever that
means. They're not healthy.
Yeah, those are so good, actually.
Glad you like them.
Yeah. So, Clara, do you call yourself dark comedy?
I'm too new at this to call myself anything.
Okay.
Would you call me dark comedy?
I think I would. But I like it though. Like we're talking about it the other night. There's something about doing dark comedy where if it's coming out of a cute girl's mouth, that's just it sells it even better because no one expects you to do that. Mm-hmm. And then you come out with this like awesome comedy. It's great.
Thank you.
I like it. Yeah, we were actually talking about you last night. Your ears are probably burning. Yeah. We one of my buddy's house that I went to, we were going to this party and he was asking me who's coming on the podcast tomorrow. I told him you and he's like, dude, she's so good. He was bragging on you too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He said he told you that before too.
I probably don't remember his name, but I'm sure I've seen it at shows.
Rorschach. Have you ever heard of this guy? Mm-hmm. It's a very weird name.
It's a cool name.
I call him Rorschach.
Rorschach. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You'd like tell him what he looks like each time. Like, I think you look like my parents fighting.
Dude, he's a good guy. He with the party we went to last night though, I'm not cut out for this shit anymore. So I said my brain's gonna be foggy today. Just because if I drink anything, it's like just there the next day.
I noticed that at the ripe old age of like 19 when I was drinking in college.
Yeah.
I don't react well to alcohol.
Me neither. Yeah. I don't know how people do.
I don't know. Yeah. Like some people are out doing comedy and drinking every night. I'm like, oh my God, I would need like 2 days to recover from that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I only had like 1 or 2 drinks last night too. That's what's bad. Such a lightweight. That's like before I just stopped drinking entirely. That's what would happen to me. Is that what you don't drink now?
I don't. Just well, since I moved to Michigan and weed is legal there, so I was like, wow, this is a lot better than alcohol.
Oh yeah.
But even before then, like once the pandemic started, I only drank socially and I only drank to get drunk. I hate the taste of alcohol. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, I'm just gonna stop.
No, I'm a huge proponent of marijuana.
Hell yeah.
I don't like being hungover. That's the worst part about alcohol.
Yeah,
alcohol's fun to drink. I would get
wicked hangovers. Yeah. And sometimes they would come on even before I went to bed. Like if I only had 1 or 2 drinks.
Oh, really?
Like earlier in the day.
Yeah.
I couldn't day drink.
No, I can't day drink.
I was terrible at being a college student.
Well, so I didn't even drink in college. I didn't drink until like it was my junior year, I think, is when I had my first drink.
Wow.
Yeah. And so for me, that was when I like went hard. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh shit, this is nice. Like, what have I been missing my whole life?
Yeah, like 20 through 22, I think, was when I was probably drinking the most.
I got that salty one in my mouth. Still nice. How do you make those? Is it like a secret recipe?
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess the ratios, but it's basically like any other cookie recipe. You cream the butter and sugar for a while. I know that sounds dirty. It's just you're whipping it up. You're whipping air into it, basically. And then you add your other ingredients. I just got like this. It was called a kitchen sink cookie recipe. And I just started putting whatever flavors I wanted in those.
And Pringles came to mind, or would you know, Ruffles?
Potato chips. Okay, so there's one time I was out like at a bonfire or something. We were roasting marshmallows, and they're normally a bit too sweet for me. The vegan marshmallows are so much better than the normal marshmallows, in my opinion. But I had potato chips like with the marshmallow, and like it was a melty marshmallow, and instead of making a s'more, I just like scooped up a bit of it with the potato chip and I ate it, and I was like, this is actually amazing.
Salty and sweet.
Yeah, and so eventually I put it in a cookie.
Yeah, it works. You ever tried those pickle chips?
Yes. Cookie? So you know the girl who was here from Switzerland? She did like a song up here. You probably weren't there that. Yeah. She was only here she'd never had pickle chips, but I was telling her about them, and then we went over to that convenience store on the corner. And we got pickle chips and Dr. Pepper so she could have this American experience.
That's so fat of us. Where's she? Switzerland?
Yeah.
They don't have pickle chips over there? Mm-mm. Or Dr. Pepper?
I'm not sure if they have Dr. Pepper. It's not really a thing in Europe. They have like Coke.
Okay. That's their soft drink of choice over there?
I guess.
I've never been.
I'm not sure. I have, but I don't like, they don't really drink as much soda. It's like, it's wine.
Yeah.
That's what you have with meals.
Well, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was growing up, my diet consisted of fudge rounds. You know what a fudge round is?
I can imagine from the name, but no.
Yeah. It's just like little Debbie cakes. There's like chocolate Debbie cakes, that and Mountain Dews.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't know. And I guess that's the secret to growing really tall. I don't know.
That explains why I'm not that tall. Cause I grew up on like health food. I didn't try Mountain Dew until I was like almost out of elementary school, and it's because one of my friends really liked it.
Yeah,
I tried it. I was like, disgusting.
Mountain Dew and fudge rounds. That's the secret.
That's the secret. Damn it. I had for a snack at my grandma's house, rice crackers and dulse, which is like dried seaweed.
See, that's what I would eat now. Okay. Cause I eat more healthy now, but I mean like that's what I grew up on. So what is your whole family super healthy?
My dad's side, not so much, but my mom's side, definitely. My grandma is like really into it. She was gluten-free before it was cool.
How old is she?
Gluten intolerant. Oh, like 80s something. She's going hard. Okay. Yeah.
See, that's a prime example right there. That's why you should eat healthy. If she's 80 and still like doing things.
Her husband finally died like 5-10 years ago now. She's been living her best life since then. It's great.
I mean, the way you said that, it was almost like you were waiting on it.
Yeah.
Her husband finally died.
He was on a really long decline.
Oh, okay.
She also doesn't like go to any traditional doctors, so he for sure had dementia or something. Mm-hmm. So, yep, she just had to. There's nothing funny about that. It was her problem, and now she's free.
So, like you said, okay, so she was taking care of him, is what you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it now. Now, my grandmother, she passed away. I was like 2020, I think. She was in a nursing home when she passed away, but her diet also was like Cokes every day. She would eat Reese's peanut butter cups and drink Coca-Cola. That was like her diet. And her bones were so brittle that one night she was walking down the stairs, her leg just snapped.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So that's what you're looking forward to if you drink Coca-Cola every day. Come at me, Big Coke.
I have, since I started doing comedy and everyone's drinking, like sometimes I get free drinks, I've been drinking a lot more soda just because of that. Because like everyone else is drinking. And I'm like, I'll just have. I
do a ginger ale when I'm out not drinking. That's what I need. Okay, right now you're hearing it. I'm cutting alcohol in my life. I need to,
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes you gotta like just do that. I think it's how Joe Rogan did their 30 days sober or something too. Was it 30? What did they do?
I don't know because I don't listen to Joe Rogan.
Yeah. I don't listen to it very much.
I'm clearly not
obviously.
the demographic that he's.
Well, I don't listen to it that much. I think I am the demographic actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. White dude.
Look alike. I assume.
I haven't shaved my head yet. I plan on it though.
I shaved my head like partway through quarantine.
Like you actually cut it all? Yeah.
So I used to be straight. I had pretty long hair for most of my life.
Your hair used to be straight.
Yes, that's yeah. And then I finally learned that it doesn't have to be that way. Like I went for an undercut first, and then I think it was like the winter after the pandemic first started. I was like, you know what, screw it. And just
buzz it all off.
Yeah, I had my partner buzz it up. The hair stayed in the lawn until we moved, at least. Like it's probably still there.
Yeah.
Because we just did it outside in the backyard. We lived like out in the middle of nowhere in Michigan. It like took me 20 minutes to get into town to my job.
So how long ago was that? When did you move here?
Like a year and a half ago.
Oh, okay, I just assumed that you were always here.
Thank you. Yeah. I very much still feel like a transplant. I have no idea where anything is.
Me neither. I've been here
Excellent.
for 10 years.
Cool. Then yeah.
People ask me all the time, like, do you know where this is? I'm like, no. I go from my house to the bar and back. Yeah.
Yeah, I know where like the places that I do comedy are.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
I don't even know where all those are. Sometimes people are asking me, they're like, yo, you want to come to this place tonight? Like even the place we went to last night. Never been there before. And it's like not too far away from here. There's just shit everywhere in New Orleans.
Yeah, there's so much to do. And I don't do all that much. And
I think that's part of being an artist though, right? Like you have to like focus on your craft.
yeah, I guess before I started doing comedy, I wasn't really focused on a craft.
So you started doing it here recently too?
Yeah, I only started in March.
Oh, what got you into that?
So I saw Tig Notaro live here.
Who's that? I don't know.
She's a comedian.
Female comedian?
Yes.
Okay.
She got famous when she talked about like her new cancer diagnosis like on a show. And it like went viral or whatever the 2000s equivalent of that is.
So she talked about cancer and went viral.
Yeah, but she like made it funny and like really personal, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why dark comedy lands.
Yeah. And cute little person talking about dark stuff and death.
Yeah.
I like being able to make the serious subjects funny.
That's what comedy should be.
Yeah, because it's like it's so hard to talk about these things. And if you don't talk about it, then like you never like think about it, and that's not great.
Yeah, it's really good point. Like it's why Dave Chappelle and them are so awesome, because they take these like high issues that they have and they bring it down to like, hey, we're all just fucking people. Let's talk about this shit.
Yeah, but I saw her and I was like, something just like clicked. I was like, oh my gosh, this makes sense. And then I was like writing. I normally write most of my jokes before I tell them.
Yeah, I've seen you out there on the working through your stuff on the table there.
Yes. It also gives me something to do if I don't want to talk to people.
True. Yeah.
Don't tell anyone that.
Well,
I totally want to talk to all of you all the time.
Well, no, now I know. So like when I go and interject myself, because I do this all the time here, I just go and like sit down next to people and start talking to them. I
mean, that's also fine. It gives me like when a lot of people are talking at once, I sort of need to just tune out.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, I guess I developed the gift of gab because I've always been like a very introverted person, but I developed that when I started bartending. Because I was bartending on Bourbon Street, so I like had to learn how to talk to people. I
learned how to talk to people in my first job. I worked at a family video.
Is that like
It's like a Blockbuster, but it lasted longer than Blockbuster. They only just went out of business 2-ish years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
After Netflix and all this stuff was already out.
Yeah, they hung on for a long time. They don't pay like at all. They're like, oh, you're making 10 cents above minimum wage, as if that was a good deal.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever. But yeah, I hated small talk. I didn't talk that much, but
what a weird world we live in now. Like that's the transition that we've made. It just over my lifetime. Like I know you're like way younger than I am, but like I used to go to these places, those family videos, and rent videos for the weekend. Yeah, we would do that like as little kids growing up. I started working there in 2015, and it was already like why does this still exist? Why is this still here? I'll work here, but this shouldn't still be. Yeah, job's a job. Make that money. It's also a small town, so like some people just didn't have internet. How small was it there? 9,000 people. Oh, that's big. What are you talking? That's big. The town I grew up in was small, 2,000. Oh my gosh. Yeah, really small. How close were you to like a major city? Let's see. We were 20 minutes away from a city that had like 80,000. Is that major? Yeah, because we had to drive like an hour and a half to get to a city like that. What part of Michigan was it? So I grew up in Iowa. Okay. Yeah, so I've lived in 3 states now. And you like this one here the best? Yes, except for the weather. I really hate the summers here, which is like half the time. Yeah. Now, part of growing up in the north, I'm sure you are acclimated to the cold weather. Yeah, I like having snow. We had, living in Michigan, it was a nice like final taste of winter since it was even more snowy than Iowa. I can't do cold weather. Like even though I grew up in Arkansas, where it's like it's mixed, you got half and half halfway through the year. I just like when it gets cold, even like today is kind of chilly out there. It's probably like what 80. That's chilly to me. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like, oh, it's finally like I can finally live outside. Oh, I hate it. Oh, the heat just makes me angry. Be walking around like feel the sun beating down on you, and I was like, fuck you too. That's a good point. Maybe that's why I'm always angry. I like it though. It like raises fuel. I looked it up because I was like, why do I hate this so much? Like it raises your cortisol levels, which is like one of the stress hormones. Oh, makes sense. So it's like good for some people and like not great for others. When you start breaking these things down, it's so weird because when something is warmer, when something's warmer, that the molecules are moving faster, right?
Yes.
So the hotter that I am, the more my internal molecules are moving faster. So that's why people like it cold whenever you go to sleep, because it slows like your body down.
That makes sense.
So is that the key to ascension? Being out in the sun, getting warmer?
For sure. Just light yourself on fire.
Light yourself on fire. Ascend.
Yes. Join the Lord. I mean, I guess it'll work.
I don't know. So what are you going to film a special and stuff? Because I know I talked to some comedians. They're like, I just do this for therapy.
This is not therapy. I'm in normal therapy because this should not be therapy.
Comedy?
No. Yeah. No. I mean, like, it can help, but like, I don't know, like only a couple minutes a day, like in front of everyone. Like, you really want to do your therapy on stage in front of everyone? No, thank you.
Well, I think they just mean they think it's therapeutic to get out there and put their ideas in the world. Not like you guys judge me. Okay. Tell me what psychological problems.
You've seen open micers. Like, it's not that big of a stretch to say that's what some people do.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying.
They are indeed. And I'm trying to.
You have no choice but to be good. I know the comedians you hang out with. Like, I think what's the thing you're the sum total of the 5 people you hang out with.
Oh.
Like, if you're hanging out with like good comedians, there's no choice. You're going to be there.
Awesome. I will keep the friends that I have then.
Yeah, see, that's my thing. I don't have friends, so I mean,
this is like, I didn't make friends until I joined comedy because I just didn't have a thing that I was doing.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out, like, if I don't have friends, am I the sum total of nothing?
I mean, we're hanging out, so for this week,
are we friends? We can be friends.
It's going to be like it's like the 5 people that you know most. Like, it doesn't, I guess.
Oh, just the 5 people you're around the most.
Yeah. So they wouldn't even need to be your friend. It could be like some terrible coworker.
Or like 5 dogs. That'd be dope.
Yes. See, I do have a lot of cat in my personality.
Yeah, your Instagram name even, right?
Yeah, sad house cats.
Yeah. What is it? You have cats?
Yeah.
Okay. How many?
2. I have 1 that's mine, and then so I moved in with my partner like 4 months before the pandemic hit, basically. Or like we met 4 months before the pandemic hit. Then the pandemic hit.
And then y'all moved down here together?
Eventually, yeah. So we met in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually they got a job in Michigan. And I was like, I'm not doing anything in Iowa. I'll just go to Michigan with you.
Yeah.
And they got a job here. And I was like, oh, hell yeah.
So where'd you said you went to school? College?
Yes.
What'd you go to school for?
So I went to school in Iowa. Accounting. That's my degree.
Whoa.
I know.
So that was one of my worst classes in college. Accounting 2. For some reason, it wouldn't click in my brain. I don't know why.
That's partly why I chose that major, because I took the like quote unquote weed out class, which is the intro class, and I found it super easy. And I was like, people think this is hard? Why?
Well, no, accounting 1 I thought was very easy. Yeah, it's just like just looking at the balance sheet. But then accounting 2 come along, and I was like, what is going on? Like, why can't my brain figure this out? Like,
eventually I lost it.
Yeah.
I managed to hold down an accounting job for like a few months, 2 different ones. It was not for me. It was a horrible fit.
Well, that means you're not supposed to be doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually I accepted that and then like applied to a bakery in Michigan after we moved there. Yeah. And for some reason they hired me and I was like really good at the job. So
you had an accounting degree. Of course they hired you. They're like, yeah, we'll take this baker on. We'll take her on. She's got to be smart for something.
Yeah.
Now my degree was in IT and I did the same thing. I managed to hold down an IT job for 3 years and I was like, I want to kill myself. I was like, there's no way I can do this for the next 40 years of my life. Yeah. I'm going to leave. And I just went back into working in restaurants and people were like, what are you doing? Like, you're crazy. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, I took like a 50% pay cut basically.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just trying to live life. Like, I don't know how you guys function doing one task for 40 years. And I think they're on autopilot.
Type of task.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to kill yourself at your job, probably get a different job.
Yes. That does make sense.
Yeah. It didn't for a while for me. I was like, why do I keep wanting to jump out these windows?
What's a risk, Like, it's easy to like stay there and take that paycheck, but it's a risk to like go outside of the box and try something crazy like comedy.
Yeah. Certainly not a career.
I think you can make a career out of it.
Eventually, yeah, that would be cool.
One of the things I was talking about with one of my buddies is that all you guys should have merch already. Like 100%, you should already be like having merch just to have it out there. Because who knows? Like, you might go on stage one night and somebody might see your set and they go, "Holy shit, this girl's amazing!" And they like they go and they buy a piece of your merch.
Yeah, that'd be cool. The thing is, I'm like, So you talked about filming a special. I am so new since I just started in March. Like, I know that especially this first year and the first like few years even in comedy, like I'm only 25. My personality is not set.
Dude, you're nailing it right now.
Thank
I'm telling you. I've heard your sets before. You're really good. You just gotta know it. So whenever you like develop that confidence, you're gonna be awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's encouraging. But I don't want to necessarily put all this like new material out there quite so soon.
No, you gotta. So who is it? I was talking. I don't know anything about comedy at all. I just know like what I like see and what I hear the other comedians saying. And a lot of the ones I'm judging it off of is like Bill Burr and Joe Rogan and stuff like that. And they talk about like their process on how they get there. And one of the things they always talk about is, use the open mics to work out your material, flush out an hour, then go film an hour, and then scrap that material and start new. And that way you have that hour on filmed and everything, like professionally filmed, and you go and sell that to Netflix. Get your merch off the ground. Because there's dropshipping. You know what dropshipping is? Okay, so dropshipping is a website that you can get on, and you basically take they have their own assets there, or you can design your own assets, but you just take those assets and you put them on t-shirts. And if someone wants to go buy one of your t-shirts, they'll go to the website, they'll buy your t-shirt. You don't have to do anything with it. They mark up because they're doing all the printing and stuff, and they'll even mail the t-shirt to the person.
Nice.
So you basically just make your profit off of that. So depending on what you want to sell it for is what you're going to make a profit for.
Cool. Maybe I'll have my partner design some stuff for me.
Very simple to do, but I think all you guys should be doing that. And honestly,
I know quite a few of us are like Shep,
they are? Okay.
Shep and Ryan and a few of the other people.
So she terrifies me.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about her. I'm so scared of her.
She's scary. I enjoy listening to her and not being the one that she's yelling at.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah. The first night I met her, I was on this bench out here, and she started going at somebody, and it was a black dude she was going at, and then I think Alex Carreau was out there, and Alex stepped in and he stepped in and tried to like calm her down, and that was the wrong thing to do. Can't
calm Shep down, especially if you're a man. Like you're going down.
Yeah, well, she went hard at Alex. And then another guy stepped in and tried to stop, and I was like, shit, this is getting out of control. I need to get out of here.
Shep is going to fight 3 dudes.
Yeah. I think she got somebody the other night, too.
Oh, yeah. I was there.
You were there
Tuesday. Yeah. I was talking to the guy that she eventually started going off on.
Yeah. So I missed all that, but he reached out to me and said, dude, some girl like yelled at me last night. And I was like, who was it? And he's like, I don't know. Some what'd he say? Some black lesbian comedian.
I mean...
And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I know who it is. Like, just stay away from that or run.
Yikes. Yeah, I was just a casual witness. I think I had my journal out actually then as well. They were yelling. I was like, okay.
So what were they talking about? Sure, it's probably nothing. It's probably nonsense.
Yeah. I don't know. It was dumb.
Yeah, I'm sure he said something that set her off, and then she went crazy. That's why I said that.
I mean, everyone needs a hobby.
Is that her hobby?
Yes.
Breaking men down?
Yeah.
I'm down with it.
Yeah. Feminism.
Shep, you can come on the podcast. Just don't hurt me. I don't know her, but if you see her next time, ask her to come on here.
Oh yeah, for sure. I will.
I love that. Yeah.
She might be. A bunch of us are doing the Super Stand-Up Sunday today at Comedy House.
Yeah, hit her up. She's there.
Yeah, she's there.
Did you so I've been doing these cool like roast battles and stuff.
Yeah.
How do those work?
So
I haven't seen one yet, but I'm very interested in how they work.
This was like the second or third one maybe. So the rules like keep changing slightly each iteration of it, but basically there were a bunch of captains and they drafted their team at the beginning from this pool of comedians, of which I was one. Amy Collins drafted me on her team. And so so the shows were on Thursday and Sundays, and the teams would just match up. So every team went up against the other team like once.
1v1?
Yeah. One team versus one team. So then during the show, the captains would do rock, paper, scissors to see who would go first. And then one would put up one of their comedians, and then the other team would put up another one to go up against them. One person would have like 2.5 minutes to roast, and the other person. Then you just go through the whole show basically.
Tight. So who did you go up against this past time?
So it's been a while. So like the roast battle is done.
Okay.
The last.
You were talking about Colton one night.
Oh, that was just like. So that was the heckle mic.
Oh, okay. I love heckle mics.
That one, yeah. I didn't have any heckle for anyone else, but give me back my haircut, something like that. No, I think so. The last time so Amy's team made it to the championship round, and so we were up against Pickle's team, and I think
who's on his?
It was Anastasia. Why am I blanking on names? A bunch of people.
I don't know names either. Okay.
I went up against Anastasia. She was the only girl on the team.
Pickle seems dangerous at a roast mic. He's so quick.
I don't know. He's had better sets. Like
he's a good host. I'll put it that way.
Yes, he's a really good host.
I've never seen him at one of those roast battles or something, but he's a good host.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, I like to mess with him all the time. I try to get everyone to come here and say like the raciest shit they can. Just for him to pull the mic back.
Oh yeah, he'll love that.
Yeah, he's good at what he does.
Yeah, he's a great host.
You been on his podcast?
Yes.
How was that? Was it good?
Twice. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun both times.
Yeah, I'm glad he's doing things, man.
He's out here working like really hard.
All of you guys do. That's what I was saying. I can't. The hours you all put in blows my mind. Blows my mind.
I like the writing sessions. I feel like I need to have more of those.
Like with other comedians?
Yeah. So I just did the improv for stand-up thing at Comedy House yesterday. And so it was nice to have, one, to do improv because that's like a different skill from stand-up, but also like we worked on each other's bits at the end of the class.
Are you into acting too?
No, not yet. I'm not really into anything. I only started in March. Like this is not something that I pictured myself doing ever. It was a shock to me to realize that I wanted to do this.
But you're having a good time, so that means that you should be doing it, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's like. You got to fall in line. You got to fall into your rhythm. And I think you're in the right rhythm. And I think it's all part of it. Like acting and everything. It's just entertaining. So I mean, I think that that's something. If you like the improv stuff, that's acting, right? Or is it improv? Is it a difference?
Fuck if I know.
Okay. Why when I think of improv,
you need to look at JQ on here. She'll be the expert.
She's funny. I like her. When I think of improv, though, I think of like is that what she does, improv?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think of like people going into a room and like asking questions to each other. Isn't that what it is? Suggestions or something like that?
Yeah. So we did like improv exercises, which are very different from like an actual improv show. Did like heightening, which is just like you make something more absurd each time, or like larger, something different.
Yeah, there's like rules and stuff to improv.
Yeah, like the yes and rule, which is like one of the basic ones. Like
what is that?
If someone suggests something, you can't just be like, oh no, it's not that, it's this. You have to go along with it, like you know what's happening. Okay.
Kind of like podcasting.
Yeah. So like if I say like this is a watermelon.
Yes, and vodka.
Yeah. See? You can't be like, no, that's a baby. Like the minute.
No, that's your hands, okay? There's no watermelon there.
Yes, and then that makes the show very different.
Yeah, it's over.
I don't think I want to perform improv anytime soon. Like it was fun to do the classes, but
I went to one improv show. My old roommate did improv for a bit. So we went to one of his shows to support. It might be the only one I ever go to. I mean, they were good and all, but they're just not my jam.
I went to Swamp City here once. Or maybe not Swamp City, but that's the improv show here.
Is it the one in the Bywater?
I think that's just the name of the one that they have at Comedy House.
Okay.
For their improv thing. Anyway, I saw them like do it once and it was entertaining. Like when it's good, it's really
good.
funny.
Yeah, when you get the right people in there. But this was like a class. It's like because there's like different tiers to the one that he was doing. So it's like a tier 1 class.
Okay.
Like
then yes, that makes sense. Yeah, it was sort of a struggle yesterday, like because like when I hear a rule, I can pretty much like follow it. Like I don't know, just the stuff just like sort of makes sense to me. But like sometimes other people don't quite understand what the rule is.
Like the yes and rule?
Yeah, or like so we were just trying to like switch up. So say a dog is eating cereal and you point to another person and like the cat is eating an omelet. So like you have pet is eating breakfast food.
Okay.
Like that's the sort of formula. And you have to be able to pick that out from the dog is eating cereal. And therefore you can mimic it.
So you just keep going with what they're doing.
Yeah.
So like that's a thing?
Yes.
So or is that just one of the rules you guys are
it's just one of the exercises.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, that's not, you don't have to do that.
But like there are rules for the exercise or whatever. Like you have to understand like basically the sentence structure.
That makes sense.
Yeah. You'd think.
Well, I mean, so I think that about a lot of people. Okay, when I hear shit, I'm like, that makes perfect sense to me, and then they're like, "What are you talking about? That's not real."
So we had some of that going on.
Yeah,
and that's fine. That's what the class is for. You're supposed to learn.
Right. It's that whole perception thing, right? Like we all look at something from different angles and we see something different.
That's what makes stuff funny.
But what is the absolute truth? Do you think there is one to everything? That's my ultimate goal in life, is to find the absolute truth. Because I mean,
You're
yes,
gonna become God.
Ooh.
I think that's the only way you can know the absolute truth.
Now we're on to something. How do I get there?
Die.
Okay.
So like you have the different levels of
so when I die,
existence. You have to reach enlightenment and transcend, and instead of being stuck in the karmic cycle, like getting reincarnated as an ant because you didn't live your life right.
Right.
You got to live your life right and then get reincarnated as God himself. And then you'll know everything.
So what I'm hearing is that just like the sperm meets the egg, whenever I die, I need to impregnate the earth and be born again as God.
You have to like figure it out before you die, because once you die, it's too late. You've already lived your life. If you were a terrible person, you're not getting recreated as God.
Well, then, but you said if I die, I become God.
You don't.
I have to become God before I die.
If you die, you could become God. Most likely not.
I feel like I should become God before I die.
Okay, then you're gonna have to be godly here on Earth.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. I've been giving joints to homeless people.
That's probably the godliest thing you can do. Well, you one up me there.
Fight God.
I got nothing. Maybe I'll give meth to homeless people. I don't know. Maybe I could start a religion. That's probably becoming God, right?
Yes. But I don't know if the real God would approve of that. I don't think he looks kindly on false idols.
But I think God is both bad and good.
Yes.
So maybe I should just kill a lot of people.
That is one approach. I'm sure you'll get into heaven that way. I wouldn't want to be God. That's too much responsibility. I feel like maybe if you're up in heaven, you can still know the absolute truth and then you can be separated from it.
I feel like God has no responsibility. That's part of being God. Like, he doesn't give a shit.
I don't know, because if he indeed created everything, like, he must be one bored dude.
Yeah, because it's already here. It's like, it's done. Your job has been done.
He's watching his reality show and he has stakes. He's attached to certain characters.
Oh, you think so? Those are the saints?
Yeah, or like the people that stuff is just working out for.
I mean, this is the land of the saints. It makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense. We live in a very holy city. There's potholes everywhere.
Yeah, this would be a very entertaining city for God to watch. Like, there's so much chaos that happens.
Yeah.
And that sounds a lot like God.
Wasn't there one city that he destroyed for that reason?
I think he destroyed a lot of cities.
Do you like study the Bible? Are you religious?
I grew up Catholic, but I'm not like, you can probably tell by the way I'm talking about this. I'm not.
Well, I don't know.
Like, really,
well, there was some like Sodom and Gomorrah. Is that a place or is that a thing?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he blew a city up because they were sodomites or whatever that is.
Yeah.
I don't know this is like totally out of my realm. Like a lot of the shit that I talk about.
This is now a religion podcast.
Well, I don't even know what I'm talking about now. I did a podcast a while back with a preacher. Yeah, an actual preacher.
Wow.
I love the guy to death. I've been talking about a lot on here. One of my really good homies from back in the day, but I don't understand their views. They only operate on the scripture. Like that's strictly what they believe in. So like any new ideas that are injected into their world, they don't take them on because it's not in the scripture.
I don't understand that because the Bible has been translated so many times since its original iteration. Mm-hmm. Like if you're actually interested in the truth, presumably you want the most reliable source, and every piece of evidence about what makes a reliable source says the Bible is not a reliable source just because of how many times it's been translated.
Yeah, and how many pieces of the Bible have been left out too.
Yeah, and like the Catholic whatever council is getting together and basically rewriting it to better control the peasants.
Now you're on to something. Now we had this discussion that day, and his whole thought process was that they took all these different writings from the Bible or different translations of the Bible, and they pulled out the commonalities out of all of them and then put those in one book. But I'm like, there's no way to actually know if certain things were left out and certain things weren't
right,
left
like
out.
according to whom?
Yeah, exactly. Like a man wrote this, okay? Or a man or a woman, whoever the fuck wrote it, some human wrote this.
Mhm.
So like there's a thing called human error. We do it all the time.
Yes. I like the Buddhist texts and like the
What do they say?
Taoist ones. I'm not going to try to paraphrase them because that would be disrespectful, probably.
I do it all the time.
But basically, like that's the stuff that has been like written down in whatever language and then only translated once. Like Thich Nhat Hanh has translated a bunch of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Hinduism and Buddhism too. One of the cool facts that I spit out about Buddhism is, you know, the statues of Buddha that you always see, like the stone statues of him meditating or whatever.
Yeah.
If you look on his head, there are like all these nodules on his head.
Ooh.
Do you know what those are?
No.
Okay, so the story goes that he was meditating out in the midday sun, and these snails crawled up his body and got on his head so that they would protect his head from the sun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I think
Snail helmet.
Well, no, what I think that is, I think it's showing you that when you do go out and meditate, you should be meditating in the sun. I think that's what all these things are. I think these things are just like metaphors for like kind of for teaching us, passing these legends down through history.
Yeah,
So that's why I like going out to the sun and meditating. I feel like Buddha.
Yeah, I like the idea of like staying still long enough for a bunch of snails to be able to crawl up on you. Like that must take some time.
That's a long freaking time.
Because they're probably not all coming over right at once.
No, there's a lot on his head.
That's cool.
Are you familiar with Hinduism too?
A bit.
So the cool thing I like about Hinduism is in the Vedas, you know, these things have been passed down for like years and years, like thousands of years. And they talk about the cycles of history. And I think that's really cool because you know what a torus field is?
Mm-mm.
A torus field's a donut shape. Okay. So if you ever see those like bar magnets, like the north-south magnets, and they take magnetic shavings and they put around them, or they take metal shavings, put around it, and they make this like shape around them. It's usually like an hourglass. Okay. That's just basically the torus field. And it states that everyone and everything in this reality has a torus field shape, an electromagnetic torus field around them. So when you think about that in a time sense, time is essentially the same thing. It's just a torus pattern from a black hole in the middle of the universe that we're all spinning around. So that's all time is. The earth and the sun are moving through space.
Spinning.
Yeah. And that's time. So it's all moving in a cycle. So that's why I like the Vedas, because when they talk about the cycles of time, they're literally talking about whenever the sun gets to a different point in the universe, it's literally going to come back around on itself because we're all just spinning in a circle.
And that's how you get like the infinite timelines and universes because
they're everywhere. Yeah. I love talking about these kinds of things.
Me too.
I have no idea what I'm ever talking about, but I just keep going with it.
I wish I could like do more of the religious stuff in my set.
Like, you have jokes for religion?
See, that's the thing. I haven't found a way to make like it like consistently funny. It's something that I enjoy thinking about.
Yeah.
So I haven't like gone in and made it really funny yet. I think death is one of the things that we don't talk about enough. Certainly.
I love talking about death.
Yeah. It's like it shouldn't be. It's like it's a natural part of life. Like it's the most certain thing any of us are ever going to do is die. And you don't want to accept that that's a thing. Like, okay.
Well, it terrifies people.
Yeah. But like,
it's the unknown. No one likes the unknown. That's why it's also hard for people to jump out of their jobs and go try to be a comedian.
I love throwing away an old life and picking up a new one.
Obviously. Yeah. I mean, that's why that's what being human's all about. Being human's all about exploring and being an adventurer on this planet. And I think so many people have lost their way because we have this structure around us that is like the Matrix, right? Like it's all just like in our heads that any of this even matters. Really, at the end of the day, we're just fucking animals. That's
why you have to think about death, because when you know that that's where you're going, then everything else matters less. Also, if you like want to kill yourself at your job, it's incentive to quit because you're like, well, I could either quit my job or kill myself. I probably should just quit my job.
Right. Now, I love talking about death, and I love how uncomfortable it makes people too. Because I'm like, it's coming, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you might as well get ready for it and chat about it.
Yeah, because then like you're gonna spend your whole life doing shit that you didn't want to do, and like not doing the stuff that you did really want to do. And that's partly why I've like jumped into comedy so hard. It's just like, this is what I want to do, so I'm doing the thing.
I love that. I think more people should do that. That's like me with the film and stuff that I do too. I fell into this because one day I took a leap and I was like, we're going to see what happens. We rolled the dice, and that's why we do all this stuff we do now here. So how'd you start it? Like, what made you start it? Same kind of thing. I was depressed at my job. I quit, started working in restaurants again. And one guy walked up to me one day and he's like, hey, I'm going to try to start a photography business. Do you mind if I take pictures of you? And I was like, okay. Like, I never thought of myself as being like a super attractive person or anything. I was like, sure, we'll give it a rip. So the guy, we go take some pictures and I was like, holy shit, these are me. And then I submitted them to like an agent and I got a little modeling deal that I did. God damn. And I was like, I want to keep doing this, but I know I can't model forever because, you know, we age. Yeah. But death is coming. Yeah. But I can act forever. So then I got into film and I started acting. Same thing. I was going to these auditions, never acted in my life, but I was going to these auditions and just bombing, just trash. Like, I would go into these places and these guys would be like, why the fuck is this guy even here? But slowly I built the skills up and I got better and better. And the good thing about being in Arkansas was the look that I have isn't like, there's not a lot of people there trying to act with this look. So a lot of times I got casted just because I was a good looking guy, which got my foot in the door for a lot of these films. But I slowly developed those skills. And then I moved from that into making my own stuff. So, and then from there, we moved down to New Orleans and we started making our own films and acting. And then I met the guy who owned this place and he's like, yo, come run the bar. Nice. So I came, ran the bar, and then Marcus walked in one day and he's like, hey, do you mind if we do an open mic here? I was like, sure. Then the open mic was born. It's really all about, like, if you take that first step and then just be open to what life is bringing your way. That's all I've done. Mm-hmm. Like, people come into my life and they're like, hey, can I do this? And I say, yes. And if it bombs, it bombs. Like, we're doing movie night here right now. Movie night's not catching on at all, but we're trying. You know, so if it doesn't catch on, we go do something else. And that's everything in life. I think you just have to be receptive to the people that are around you, because there are so many talented people all around us all the time. We're just terrified to, like, take that first step. And that's why I love hanging out with all you guys, because you're all so talented that it makes me more talented. Yeah, hanging out with you guys. Yeah, it's great. That's really sweet. What kind of movies do you make? Just depends. We do some commercial work. We do a lot of stuff for Lamar Advertising. We do short films whenever we have time to do those, when we pull everybody together. It kind of depends. That's why I said I think you'd be great in acting too. Hit me up for a short film. I'm down with it. I think it would be really cool for you to get with some of the comedians and write a couple of skits and we go film them. I have been thinking, I really like stop motion. Okay. And I have this bit about a toaster that I just I see it in my head as this little claymation toaster. I don't know anything about stop motion, but I'm sure we can make it work. I have all the stuff for editing. Obviously, look at all this shit. Nice. Yeah. So we could take 1 billion pictures on my phone. Well, you don't have to do that anymore. That's the cool thing about knowing how to edit and stuff is that you can do a little video and then we can just cut out certain frames to make it look like it's stop motion. Yeah. There are little tricks of the trade. I mean, yes, you could do it with all the pictures, but that would take so long. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. I guess I haven't actually looked into it because I'm not there's so much going, because I'm also trying to sell cookies because I'm out of school and I need to make money. What am I going to do? Your cookies are really good. Thank you. You should buy some. I might. Yeah. We could do some film stuff though, for sure. That'd be cool. Yeah. I'm down to try whatever. What? Because I'm still so new that I don't know what I necessarily I know Mike's working in film again, right? Yeah. Does he have any interest in writing stuff? Oh, for sure. He's done film before. Oh, have done some stuff? Yeah. Get with him. Talk to him. Yeah. We have all the stuff. We'll bring the cameras out and stuff. Make it nice. Nice. Yeah, I love doing that stuff. It's that's such a unique medium because I think it pulls so many different things together. It pulls all of these art forms together. Yeah, and good editing, when you see a show or a movie that has good editing, you can tell. Yeah. It's really cool. It makes a huge difference. It's all about the flow. Yeah. The flow of the edit. Awesome. I don't have anything else with that. Me neither. Dead air. What else you got going on in life? You making cookies, doing comedy, talking about religion? Yeah. Hang on, how was it? You say you grew up Catholic. Yes. So I grew up with no religion at all. My parents are probably gonna be like, what? But no, we went to a couple of Baptist churches, I think. Southern Baptist, but I never got into it at all. Mm-hmm. And then when I got to a certain age, they gave me the option to like not go back. And of course,
I wanted that option so bad and I never got it.
Yeah, of course. I was like, screw this.
Yeah.
I'm not going back. I'm sleeping. I'm watching cartoons on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
So like your parents made you go to church.
It was weird. So like we didn't start going to church until I was in second grade.
Mm-hmm.
That's when my favorite grandma died.
Okay.
And I guess rather than explain death to a child, my mom was like, we're going to church. She's always said that she almost became a nun, but she wanted kids. And, you know, you can't have kids and be a nun. And then she got accidentally pregnant with me. So the nun ship sailed. Tangent.
Why does she want to be a nun?
I think she likes the environment like at abbeys.
What does that
convents, mean? Like the praying every day and doing. I know.
Well, it's the same thing as meditating, though, really, right?
Except you're doing it, yeah. I guess.
I think meditating, you're kind of going inside of yourself rather than projecting something outwardly.
Yeah, and some of like the prayer and whatever is basically meditation. But yeah, but the Catholic version. But we didn't start going until second grade, which I feel like maybe. And I also grew up learning about like Hinduism and all these other things, like from my grandma, because she's just spiritual. She's not.
That's actually
religious.
Dope, though.
It gave me a very weird view on religion.
Yeah. What was she telling you like at that age?
Well, we would talk about like reincarnation and that sort of stuff. She had like a.
Will you believe it? But you said reincarnated as an ant. You said that.
Yes. Earlier. Yeah. So I think whatever you believe happens after death, it's really inconsequential. So you should just believe what makes you most comfortable, and because it's a comfort thing to think about going to heaven. Like you're comforting yourself, like, oh, even though death is scary, I'm going to this really nice place after. Mm-hmm. Since I grew up with so many different ideas of religion, I thought to merge them all together, I thought that you went to heaven for a while and then eventually you went to God and you're like, hey, I want to go back to earth. And then he puts you in the next baby that's born.
It might be true. You laughed about it, but it could be the truth. Like no one knows.
Who knows? Yeah.
No one knows. I mean, there was a Disney movie that came out a while back that talked about death. Remember that one?
Oh, Coco.
Is that what it was?
That was the one with the like Mexican family.
No, the one with it was the black guy that played piano. And, he died.
Soul?
Is that what it's called? Soul,
Maybe.
yeah.
I never watched it.
Yeah, that was so my buddies who are very religious from Arkansas, like extremely religious, ridiculously religious. Is that a thing? We're doing that. Ridiculously religious. Anyway, they watched that movie and they watched it with their kids, and their kids, they raised them strictly by the Bible too. Yeah. So
have some stuff happen.
Yeah. So when they're watching that movie, the kids were asking questions about it, and they're like, in the thread that we have, they couldn't figure out what to tell the kids about it. And I was like, this is so crazy that people are actually thinking about this. Like, let the kids think what they want.
Yeah, like give them all the information and then they can decide.
Yeah.
I think I also must have learned about God at the same time as learning about like the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus. Mm. So I just assumed that you grew out of believing in him. So getting into adulthood and seeing so I had to go through confirmation at 16 in the Catholic Church.
What does that mean?
So you have like your baptism when you're born or whatever. First communion at like 11, 12, when you get like the
liquor.
Yes. Okay. You get the sip of wine and the cracker, and you're allowed to take communion instead of doing the whole, like, I'm a dead body, bless me.
I don't know what any of that is.
So that's fair. If you're not Catholic, I don't know why you would know. For communion, every person in the church goes in a line up to the priest who's handing out these really disgusting crackers. And when you go up, you have your hands like this, puts it in the hand, you eat it. But if you are not Catholic or you haven't gone through your first confirmation, you're not allowed to have communion. We don't want any strangers eating our crackers. So you have to go like this, and then the priest will like pat you on the head and give you a blessing or some shit. Then you go back to your seat. It's fine. People are into it.
Obviously.
People are into getting fed crackers. I would rather just have a box of crackers.
What's the body of Christ, right?
What was even the point of this?
The body of Christ. You're eating him.
Yes.
What were we talking about?
Cannibalism. Not cannibalism.
Oh, you want to talk about cannibalism? No, we can do this. I have a good one.
Okay, go.
Okay. I was going to wait to give this to somebody else, but I'm giving it to you, okay? So, there's a concept called divergent evolution. Okay, divergent evolution is when two species, different species, look very similar. Okay, they look so similar, in fact, that they can co-evolve next to each other, and they don't know they're different species. Okay. Now, if you take the fact that you're a vegan, so you wouldn't know this. Maybe you would. So if you take beef, okay, and venison, and you try those meats, a sample of meats, then they're going to have different flavor profiles. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know they're different species. Okay, so I think cannibalism is illegal because if you started eating humans, you may find out that we have different flavor profiles.
Interesting.
Different species of humans
evolving in different areas of the world.
Yeah. So I said this the other night at the bar, and some chick got so mad at me. She left the bar. She's like, "You can't say shit like that because you're gonna give." She's like, "You're gonna give." What are they called? She said somewhere, but it was like extreme racism, like racist people.
Yeah,
you're gonna give them ammo to like use. And I'm like, so we should just stop interjecting new ideas into the population because you're scared people are gonna get.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people are dumb, especially if you're in bars. True,
yeah. That's why when I come up here and have conversations with people and they get up and walk out, I'm like, whatever. It's new ideas, I like thinking about weird shit.
Yeah, me too.
So cannibalism, right? I think I talk about it way too much. Like people are going to believe that I would actually eat a human. I would
get a shirt that says "not a cannibal."
Well, I think in order to sample humans, so most people think when cannibalism, they think you got to kill the human. It's like no,
you don't have to. There's so much extra stuff on there.
Just take a butt cheek off.
Yeah,
one butt cheek, you're good. That's enough for at least like a burger.
Probably, yeah. Depending on the person.
What made you go into? Would you ever eat a human?
I think in the right situation, everyone would, and we're liars if we say we wouldn't. Like in the right situation, I would go back to eating meat. Probably.
What would that situation be?
It would be very extreme and unlikely, like some sort of stranded, unable to find any safe food to eat.
But there's a bunny rabbit there. You're like, well,
I don't know.
He hops up
I might just be like, it's my time.
He hops up and like rubs your leg. He's like, hey.
Yeah, probably not. You're right.
I would eat it. Yeah. Like, sorry, bud. You're gone. What? Yeah, I can't stop eating meat. I'm about like 85% vegetables now. But I can't stop eating meat. I don't know how I got a buddy from California. He doesn't eat meat either. He doesn't mind when we're all together and like he'll cook a steak for me or something, but he just doesn't like meat. He likes that Beyond Meat stuff.
Yeah, that stuff is really impressive. Impossible
meat, is that what it's called?
There's also Impossible Meat. They're two, like those are the two like main ones. So maybe the Impossible Burger will be better than the Beyond Burger.
But what is it?
Soy and some other stuff. I'm not sure. It's not necessarily like strictly healthier for you, but like the impact on the environment is way different. Because like with plants, you're just growing and watering the plants. You're just using that little bit of land and that bit of water, and you process it into whatever. But with like cattle, you have to grow all of this food to feed them, which is way more. Like if that food were used to feed people right there, from that point, like it would feed way more people. But you're feeding all of these animals who also need to drink water, who also produce methane, who also have like the capability to feel fear, pain.
That's why we should just eat humans.
So I'm with you on that. I am about as likely to eat a human as another animal. Also, like humans, we have intention and like we can debate the reason between right and wrong, and we've agreed to be part of a society. So if anyone deserves to die, it's not the animals. They haven't done anything. We've bred them. We've like just raised them for these terrible existences. And then we kill them. So we've made sure that their entire lives from beginning to end are horrible. Just eat humans already.
Yeah. I mean, it was Soylent Green, right?
Yes.
That's a real product too.
Nice.
Yeah. Like that's what's creepy to me. Like Soylent Green was, the book, right? Or movie or whatever it was.
It was like a little bit before. I'm only 25. So it was a bit before my time, but I've heard it referenced.
Yeah. So you have this society that like everyone's very, very docile, but they all have this product they eat. It's called Soylent Green. And no one knows like what it's made from. And then one day a guy goes to the factory and he like sees that it's made out of humans. They're like liquefying humans and giving it to them.
That's basically what they do with chickens.
They liquefy them?
You've seen like what goes into a McDonald's chicken nugget? It's like a
No. Is it bad?
It's like a strawberry milkshake, but it's chicken, blended up chicken.
That's fucking disgusting. I don't eat chicken nuggets.
I enjoy chicken nuggets. I have enjoyed chicken nuggets in the past.
But yeah, I mean, everyone's eaten chicken nuggets in the past, but I'm sure like Taco Bell meat's probably the same thing. Taco Bell was my go-to back in the day. Taco
Bell has really excellent vegetarian options.
I didn't know that was a thing there.
Sometimes I will eat that. I'm not like strictly vegan.
What's the difference? I don't know. Like,
so vegan is like no animal products.
So what
whatsoever.
would you eat? It's a cheese, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically cheese, dairy.
But I saw a thing the other day. It was those like packets of cheese. This scientist took one and put it under a microscope to see what was actually in there. He said it's like a lot of plastic.
Yeah.
So maybe you're not really eating animals. Maybe you're seeing plastic.
If you're buying really shitty cheese, yeah.
Yeah, those like Kraft.
Yes, I know. We literally growing up, we called that plastic cheese.
Really?
Yeah. We didn't have it that much because health food family, whatever. But we called it plastic cheese.
It's good. Like you lived in a family like that. I got a buddy in Arkansas. His kids are the same way. Like they've grown up eating healthy stuff. So one day I was over at their house and one of the kid walks up to the mother and she's like, "Can I get a tomato?" And I was like, "What?" The kid just walks over and gets a tomato and starts eating a tomato. I was like, this is nuts.
I did not. I had such a sweet tooth. That's partly why I'm a baker now. Why I make all these baked goods is because I was denied sweets as a child.
No, I have a sweet tooth too. Like, yeah. So I'm going to smash those after we finish the podcast. But yeah, big time. But I mean, I grew up fudge rounds, Mountain Dews. That's my diet.
Nope. I was allowed to have a sip of soda once a week when my dad would take us to McDonald's for breakfast.
Oh. What?
He would have a soda for breakfast along with his breakfast. And he would let my sister and I have like a sip or two of it.
Like I'm totally for that, but that's just a wild thing for me to hear. Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
He was like, he always had junk food and he like, that was like one of his comfort things. And so.
But he was protecting you guys.
Sort of. He was more like following my mom's rules as much as possible. Like he wasn't going to buy us a soda, but he'd give us some of his when she wasn't around.
That's the thing with relationships. I think that's why I'm going to be single forever because I can't do like other people's rules. I love being like lawless, just being me, just doing what I want to do.
See, I can sometimes just turn it into a blob if I'm left to my own devices. My partner is vegan, and they have helped me like find.
They gave you the
better
rules.
Things to eat. Yeah. Because health food growing up, like a lot, I just assumed that kale had to taste bad just because of how it was prepared.
I like kale.
Now I like it. Yeah. Since they know how to prepare it nicely.
How do you prepare kale?
Just like chop it really fine and then like sort of massage it with some oil and
cook it?
No. We put it in salads.
Yeah.
We don't cook it.
Yeah, that's what I buy bags of kale and just like dump it in a bowl and eat it. I'm probably like, I eat to survive.
I need them in like very small pieces.
Yeah, it's small. Well, I guess no, some of it's kind of big. It's like crunchy. That's what I had this morning for breakfast.
You had kale for breakfast?
Yeah, kale.
Jesus Christ, you need those cookies.
Kale and egg salad.
That sounds disgusting.
I loved it. I'm telling you, it's when people see the way I eat, they're like, "What? How do you eat this shit?"
Like, so it's just for fuel.
I eat to survive. Yeah.
No, it has to like taste sort
Some
of good.
Some people need the taste. Yeah. My problem is when I have things that taste so delicious, I want to eat like a whole bag of them.
See, I can like purchase a bottle of soda and make it last for like 3 or 4 days.
No, that's wrong. You're totally wrong. You're doing it wrong.
I know, because it gets flat by the end of it. I don't do this right.
You're not being American, okay? You have to drink 5 sodas a day.
Oh God. Then how am I gonna? I guess I don't drink water. You'd probably be
sick if you did that.
Oh yeah, I already have like teenager acne. I don't need anything more.
Is that what sodas gives you?
I don't know. I think like more junk food, more acne. I had a slice of pizza yesterday, and then
you had a pimple
like formed in the night.
Just like automatically.
Yeah, I was like, this is the pizza one, right there.
Yeah, I don't even think about it that much. I just let it go. I haven't had a pimple in a long time.
Oh.
I had it when I was growing up though, like when going through puberty, it was bad. That's probably why I never thought of myself as being attractive because I had like pimples and stuff when I was going through puberty.
Yeah, I was not I looked okay by the time I got to high school. But like,
well, you probably hit puberty before that though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
See, for me,
school.
I was like 17 or something. I was late. All those Mountain Dews and fudge rounds were stunting my growth.
Then you had like, since you delayed it so much, you had more time to grow tall.
I guess. I don't know how it works.
My sister didn't go. She would not like me talking. She didn't go through puberty until later, but she's only 5'2". Like she did not get the height with the delayed puberty.
Yeah. My family is all really tall.
Yeah, no.
So it was like, we were all going to be giants.
I have pimples and gray hair. This is stupid.
At 26.
25. I got them at 19.
So my dad also had he had white hair, not gray hair, but it was white. I can see him in there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He had it at the same age, like really young too. So was it stress? Is that what it was?
Sure.
I think his was. I think he whenever they grew up, he had like dirt floors and shit. They had to
God.
They'd go kill what they wanted to eat and stuff.
Okay, well, I did not grow up like that at all.
Okay.
I certainly did not fit in, which might have been stressful. There were some stressful things.
But I can see why you wouldn't fit in, because you actually have the ability to critically think. It's not
a good trait to have if you want to get along with people.
No, like if you want to be a human and just be a social creature and fall in line, that's what people want. That's what this world wants you to do. But you can actually no, me neither.
Be social.
I couldn't either. And I had friends that, well, I mean, I was social back in the day, but I just had like these weird fucking thoughts always going through my head, like why cannibalism is good. Like it's hard to have friends when you have those thoughts like that, you know?
Yeah. I had a bunch of like other weirdos that I was friends with. But like by the time high school was over, we'd sort of like gone our separate ways, or like one of my friends had figured out how to be popular with the other people and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't figure it out.
Do you still talk to your friends from high school?
We'd like sometimes keep in touch or snap, but like I'm not that sort of friend. Like if we're not living in the same place, I'm probably not going to keep up with you.
Yeah.
Like I'll love seeing, like I went back to Michigan right after I graduated from baking and pastry, like the program there, and saw one of my like coworkers, friends, whatever. And that was great. So I like being with the people while we're there, but I'm not going to keep up with you via text or anything.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
No, it's hard to do that when you go to a new place and you have your friends, you have new circles here that you're trying to.
Yeah. Like I can barely handle being on Instagram. I fucking hate being on Instagram.
I hate social medias too. Trust me. They're a nightmare. And like trying to post and stay relevant. Like I do the Instagram for the bar. So, I mean, that's a whole nother nightmare in the bag. Like mine, I neglect mine so much just because I'm like, doing stuff for this one. But that's a real problem with our society nowadays, is the fact that you're always on call with social medias and shit. Yeah.
And people will be like, oh, did you see my thing on this? I did this thing. And I'm like,
no,
absolutely not. Like no.
Something new I did the other day was I turned on I only give myself 30 minutes a day on Instagram. And so the notification pops up and it's like, well, your time's over. Do you want to like extend it 15 minutes? So it just breaks that like wall. Because, sometimes we get stuck in this like scrolling thing.
Just autopilot.
Yeah.
I should do that for like Twitter.
Yeah. It just like, it breaks that wall and you're like, holy shit, I've been on this for 30 minutes. Damn, put it down, go do something else. Because I mean, I've noticed that sometimes I'm there for like an hour just scrolling.
Oh gosh. That's why I do not go on TikTok.
Oh, I don't have TikTok. Yeah.
The algorithm sounds like incredible.
But I think that Instagram's doing that shit now.
I mean, all of them like have algorithms and stuff, and I'm sure Instagram is taking notes from TikTok because it's notoriously like the best one.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get sucked in.
No, that's why I had to turn my notifications on, because I realized, because I had the same thing going with Instagram. Like I would put it down, but then here recently for like the past 2 months, I can't put it down. So that's why I was like, got to put this notification on, cut it out.
I don't have notifications turned on for like some of the stuff. So
no, I keep all my notifications off. If you text message me, it doesn't pop up, it doesn't ring.
Text and stuff I'll definitely answer.
The only one that pops up on mine is phone calls. So if someone really needs me, they can call me and they'll get me. It'll come through. But everything else, I want to stay in the zone always. And someone was complaining about that the other night. They're like, you never text back. And I'm like, yeah, because when I'm engaged in conversation with someone, I want to be fully present. There are too many people that are like this always. And it's like, it's impossible to have a conversation with someone when they're always looking at their phone. Yeah.
Like if I'm at a show or if I'm like meditating or journaling or something, I'll just have it on do not disturb. Like even if I'm like reading and my partner's sending me tweets, while they're there looking at me, I'll like turn my phone on do not disturb.
So are you big on Twitter?
I am not. So I go on Twitter and I read. I don't tweet that much.
Who do you follow on Twitter? Like, I don't do the Twitter thing very much.
I think some of them are actually like comedians, but I just knew them as funny accounts on Twitter. A few celebrities like Roxanne Gay and some of her tweets just came up. And
so like when you're on Twitter, you're just basically expressing your ideas on there.
Yeah, just like dumb little thoughts. I would have to like
in like 80 characters or whatever it is
and read through. I just like it for silly things, and sometimes I'll like figure out what's going on in the world because of the tweets. Like everyone's saying like, "Whoa, why like you should keep the funeral set up from Queen Elizabeth because King Charles doesn't look so good." And you see a kid.
Dude, that guy's wild.
That whole deal is something.
Yes, the fact that we still have kings and queens, eat my ass. That's crazy.
Okay, but also like we have a president, and well, now he's doing some stuff with marijuana, which is hilarious. Yeah, like I heard about that on Twitter. It's like someone gave Joe Biden like Adderall, and he's doing all this stuff. Like they couldn't do anything like in whatever era, and they just had to give this dude with dementia a couple of uppers. He's getting all this shit done.
The whole like concept of our world blows my mind. The fact that we look at anyone and go, well, this person knows better than me. Mm-hmm. Let's make them a leader.
Yeah. And then you look at the representation. It's like, okay, well, you probably shouldn't be speaking for everyone.
Yeah.
Because you're rich as hell and no one else is.
That's what's wild to me. That all these people are fucking millionaires and billionaires.
They can't know. Like that bit in Parks and Recreation where she's like, what could a banana cost? $10? Like, they just don't know.
Yeah. No, I run across a lot of people like that. They have no idea. They don't know what it's like to actually live in this world. They're so removed. And it's like that's how you know it's all fake. Mm-hmm. It's all fake because those people in real life could never do anything. They're totally useless. Yeah. Like if you're so scared about losing your billions of dollars, shouldn't you just be able to make it all again because of your incredible work ethic? No. Like you earned it, right? Right? No. Yeah, exactly. So the royal family is a totally different idea because like those people are 100% useless. Like I've heard some stories from Mike about actors on set. Dude, they actors too. Yeah, they're useless too. Who knows? You said famous people, so I think of actors. Well, I said the royal family. Oh, the royal family. Yeah, okay. The royal family. I misheard. I heard what I wanted to hear. No, a lot of actors are just pretty faces. Yeah. They're not much. Congratulations on the pretty face. Yeah, I know. You have one too. Shut up. Oh, thanks. That's why I was hired at Family Video. That they were in their era of only hiring hot girls. See? Yeah. That's how I learned I was a hot girl. I mean, it's not. It's a good sales technique. Yeah. Well, that's how I learned how to bartend. I came to New Orleans. People didn't have attractive people more. Well, I didn't have a clue how to bartend. I walked into the gay bars and I was like, "Look, I'll work shirtless if you train me how to bartend." Yeah. Done. Yeah. Yeah. That entirely makes sense. Taught me a skill. I put my shirt back on and I was a bartender. Okay. That's great. Yeah. But anyway, back to the royal family. Like the fact that anyone revels over these people and they had this big spectacle for the queen dying. It's like, it's just an old woman. You know, why didn't they do that when your grandma died? I saw some video of like, since people were waiting in line for forever, to go to the funeral? To go and like see the coffin, I guess. So it was some video of like someone solving the problem. Like, this is how we get everyone through. And there were like setups of escalators and whatever, like having the people going through the room, but also the coffin was on this arm, like going all around like this so it could show everyone like in the most efficient. So that's why I go on Twitter, because sometimes I see shit like that. Yeah. I love it when people clown that kind of stuff, because it's all just a clown show to me. Yeah. And I don't know why people aren't just going, I'm done with this. Yeah. Like everything's absurd. Nothing matters. Like crime is legal right now. Yeah. How crazy Especially in New Orleans, crime is legal. Well, so New Orleans, I mean, I don't know if New Orleans has the same thing that California does, but if you steal under $1,000 worth of product in California, they can't prosecute you. Oh, hell yeah, because I just shoplifted some stuff. Yeah. I mean, you just walk, I don't know if it's New Orleans too. Is it that way here? I don't know, but I was just in, I shouldn't admit this. Hey, bro, we're joking. It's a bit. It was a bit. I didn't steal anything. It wasn't worth that much. Well, in California, you can only steal from the big stores. So that's why a lot of the Walgreens there are shutting down, because people are stealing from Walgreens. They're just walking in and grabbing a handful of shit and walking out. Yeah. So wild to me that it's a concept. Like how does anyone expect a business to stay afloat when people can do this? Yeah. Yeah, especially when every place is like so under. I went into a gas station here
across the street when I was going to school, and I wanted to buy this I just wanted to buy a Snapple, and there was fucking no one in there. Like I looked for a cashier. I didn't want to like yell or anything because I don't like yelling. So I just walked out.
Yeah.
With it. And I didn't even think like, oh, I could grab something else because no one's here. I only walked out with a Snapple. Like that was it.
You need food. You're trying to survive.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
Totally.
Same. Yeah. No, well, I heard that all the cops like just recently quit or something too. And someone was saying that they're getting prosecuted or someone's getting prosecuted for stealing money or something. I don't know. I've been trying to get one of those guys on to talk about it. I think it'd be fun to have one of those guys on. Because if you have a mass exodus of police officers, something's going on that no one knows. But yeah, you're right. They are like stealing cars and shit. These are things no one ever hears about.
I feel like I've heard about the like carjackings and stuff.
Yeah, does that ever terrify you?
So I've heard that what they're doing, like when they break into cars, they're looking for guns. And me and my partner drive a little lesbian car. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure no one's going to be like, oh, maybe there are guns in there.
No, it's a good point. Like I used to drive a sports car, which in my opinion, that's just a Target in this city. Sold it.
Also, it's so low, like to the ground, you're going to get it banged up.
No, I just fell in every time. Yeah. It was hard for me to get in the car, but it was fun to drive. But I mean, now I drive that right there, little silver car. No one ever looks twice at it. No one's still in that.
Yeah, exactly.
And
just get car, an unassuming car.
That car will run forever. I asked my mechanic guy, I was like, what's a car that's never going to break? He's like, Toyota Corolla. I was like, done and done. My
first car was a Toyota Camry.
Yeah. Does it break down on you?
It was pretty old. And so it would start like when I would get off the interstate, it would sometimes just stall. So I got quite nervous to drive. And so eventually I got a new car, which is nice. Yeah,
I ask people that all the time if they get scared in this city because I don't really get scared of anything. I think it's part of being just a large person. But I don't know if like, you tiny people out there.
Maybe I should be scared, but I haven't really been scared that. I did get nervous when I was doing some of my abortion jokes, like my Roe v. Wade material.
Somebody got mad at you?
There have been, yeah. So that's part of the reason I stopped doing. Most of the reason I stopped doing it is because like I felt like I'd polished the stuff and I just got bored of it. I was tired of saying it. But yeah, there had been like hecklers and stuff like that.
I don't understand people getting mad at comedy. When you're on stage talking, that's a performance. It's like why get mad at someone off stage? I've seen this several times at these places. And I'm like, dude, they're on stage working their material out. Let them do it. But you've had people get mad at you for these things.
Yeah, I think it was the all women's show that I was booked on. Coven. And I think, so since I was new, I went up first. And that's never good with abortion material because it's kind of a lot out the bat. And then this like redneck couple was like, eventually, like by the end of my set, was like, so I said one of my jokes and they screamed like, fuck you in response. And like they were already being ushered out.
Okay.
So that was, I was still really new, like I'm still really new at comedy, but
I should just went straight for redneck jokes then. I
said, well, somebody has flags in their car. Cause like everyone's driving around with this fucking Trump's flags.
So they're against abortion. So that means they're probably a lot of their relatives,
they should have been aborted.
Yeah. Cause they're probably brother and sister. I don't know.
I'm going to ask about getting my tubes tied tomorrow. I'm going to the doctor and I'm going to ask.
Why?
Because those people probably want me as their handmaid.
Oh, you think they would? But it doesn't matter. Like if you get tubes tied, then they can just like.
So since abortion is like not legal and it's getting harder and harder to get, I don't want to be in this situation where it's one, illegal to get my tubes tied. But two, like being in the situation where I'm forced to keep a child.
But your partner's a female, right?
Yes. So there is no actual risk of
pregnancy.
Yeah. But if shit goes down, if like something happens, if I get raped, like.
Oh, don't say that. That'd be bad.
Yeah. But I don't want to have to be raped and also have to be forced to keep the child.
Yeah, that would suck. Like I'm totally for abortion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think people should do what they want to do. I'm for legalizing all drugs too. Like if you want to do all the drugs you want to do and kill yourself, go for it.
Yeah. Crime should be legal.
Well,
not those ones.
There are certain crimes.
There are certain crimes that should be illegal.
Yeah.
But yeah, drugs and stuff like non-violent stuff, go nuts.
Are you into psychedelics?
I have not taken any, but that's probably because I'm on an SNRI and I've been on like SSRIs for a while. And so if I were to take anything, I would risk serotonin syndrome or just not have a trip.
How do those make you feel?
Better.
Yeah, it's like depression.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've always wondered about those.
Yeah, I found venlafaxine has worked pretty well for me so far.
You tried several of them?
So I was on sertraline for a while, and I guess I had never known what it was like to not be anxious or depressed. And the doctor was like, "Oh, are you feeling better?" And I was like, "It's fine." But like I kept having these like bouts of suicidal ideation. And finally, when I moved here and went to a new doctor, they were like, "Oh, maybe we should try something else. Like you shouldn't still be having this." So then I got a new type, because it wasn't just the job making me want to kill myself. It's also just my brain.
Yeah.
Which is great and cool of it.
That's nuts anyway. Like the fact that because that's not, if you think about it from an evolutionary perspective, that's not conducive to evolution, right? Or maybe it's the fact that you see the problems in the world and that makes you want to kill yourself. I think that's always
too much.
That's been my thing is, I've always like seen these like holes in society. I'm like, why does this work this way?
Yeah. I never knew that's partly why I think I've picked up improv pretty well, because I never knew what the fuck was going on as a kid, because I had the way that I saw the world and it made sense, and no one else's view made sense. It was like, you all are crazy, which might have been stressful. But so I just had to like eventually learn to go along with it. Yeah. Just yes and, or just, yeah. No,
same here. Yeah, I hate inefficient systems, and I think there's a lot of inefficiencies.
It confuses me too.
Yeah.
It's like why do you say you want one thing, like to help the children, and then you're doing this, which is taking away all their all their healthcare and all this shit. Yeah. Like, I don't think you actually care about the kids.
There's a lot of things. So I think a lot of these okay, let me put it this way. I heard a quote the other day, and it was, most people are ignorant. So think that it's ignorance over malice always. Because I tend to go straight for the malice. I'm like, you're doing this because you want to hurt people. But I think that a lot of times it's just ignorance, pure ignorance. And I think the same way with like all these like politicians that are really wealthy. I think that they're ignorant of what it is to be an actual human being.
But at that level, when you're saying that you're going to be making decisions for other people, that's like willful ignorance.
Yeah, no, it should be an average person that's in politics, I think. An average person that's educated should be in politics. One that actually has to work for their living and work for their money. And at that time, they can make some extra money then because they're being a politician. But they should then go back into the workforce. We should like recycle.
Yeah, they should have to work at whatever the minimum wage job is at their state.
Yeah.
See if it's livable.
What was I saying now? Oh, malice over ignorance, or ignorance over malice. I don't think the average person wants to actually hurt people. I just think they're not thinking the way. So like what you were saying when we were talking about the critical thinking aspect of it, I think some people just don't critically think all the time. Their brains work totally different than other people's do. And I think that a lot of these systems that we have, like this standing in line bullshit, like going to watch the Queen, standing in line for hours. For me, that's like the worst thing ever. Like when I go to places like the DMV and have to stand in line for 7 hours, I just want to shoot myself in the face. I'm like, I hate this. There has to be a way to make this more efficient, more fast. And I think that there's a lot of systems on the planet that are designed that way just to take time away from you, because time is the most valuable resource you have.
So many like bullshit jobs because we need to employ all these people. Like for some reason, even though we've made all this fabulous technology to theoretically make our lives easier, we still are expecting people to work like these 60-hour weeks or whatever. Like you have to be on that grind. It's like, no, we invented these things so we could have more free time to be humans.
To create.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a guy the other day telling me he worked 70 something hours. And I was like, that's insanity. Like you're not living at that point.
I don't even when I worked at a bakery, eventually went down from 40 hours a week to 32. And that was amazing. Yeah. They've actually switched over that bakery to the majority of their employees only working 4 days a week, just like I was. Yeah. And productivity has been great. They are paying people more, but technically they're getting like the same, like it's better for the business because they're not actually effectively paying them anymore because they're working fewer hours and they have less overtime. Yeah. Like it's great. Like,
no, give people more time and give them more freedom.
They'll do a better job. Like I was doing a much better job having like those 3 days off to rest. Yeah.
No, so one of the management tactics that I employ here is that no one's above anyone. Like even me, like I am the manager. You come to me with problems, but at the same time, you have just as much power in this business as I do. And then the employees have responded greatly to that because like people want responsibility. Like, and when they have it, they feel more in depth with the business, more in tune with the business.
Yeah, they have like a stake or responsibility in it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's what more businesses should do, and you should give your employees more time off too. It only makes sense. Like let people live their life while they're here, because they're only here for 80 years.
Exactly. Like, why do you want to be doing this bullshit?
Mm-hmm. I'm totally with you on that one.
I'm glad.
I think it's what about being a comedian. You got to take those ideas and like push them out into the world to make everyone think that way.
Yeah, I'm hoping as I like get more into this, I'll learn better ways to present these.
I've been telling my dad, he's like nearing that retirement age, and he's trying to like, you know, he's at that point in his life where his health is starting to decline, so he wants to keep his insurance. And I'm like, this is the whole, like, this is the way they get you. Mm-hmm. So you work your entire life and you have this insurance, and then you don't want to quit working too soon because you want to keep your insurance. And it's like, I'm like, dude, just fucking retire. Like, do it. Live your life while you're here. Like your health, his uncle just died. So he's seeing death once again right in front of him. And the man's health went down very fast. And I'm like, you got to get out of here and live your life while you're still here.
Don't try to like eke out every last minute of life. Like,
no, fuck it.
Those minutes aren't worth it if you're spent at work. Like,
yeah.
Ugh.
Like I said, he's had a pretty difficult life. So it's like, dude, just
go do the things that you want to do.
Yeah. But you know what he wants to do? You're going to hate this. Kill animals. He loves to hunt.
Just don't hunt any of the big ones, the good ones. Don't go to Africa to hunt. Just go hunt some fucking deer.
That's what we do.
Okay.
Yeah. Straight up venison. Oh my God, I love venison.
And there's something like about going out and getting your own like meat and like seeing it start to finish. Like if everyone had to go and kill their food, you probably have more vegetarians.
Oh yeah, it's a very
and
messy.
You wouldn't be able to factory farm.
Yeah, it's a very messy thing to kill an animal and have blood everywhere and then gut it.
Yeah, to have to actually see death.
Have you done this? Have you done it before?
Oh God, no.
Okay.
I've like seen some documentaries and stuff, but I would never like. I've always had a higher empathy level for animals than humans.
Yeah.
I wanted to become a vegetarian at a pretty young age, but like my mom talked me out of it, and eventually I just like forgot that it was a thing that I wanted to do. I just pushed it out of my brain because I couldn't. Yeah. It was Iowa.
What do you mean? You can't be a vegetarian in Iowa?
I mean, you can, but like...
Is it like the corn capital of the world?
Basically, we have more pigs than people. It was more like there were so many like other rules that I had to follow. Like my brain couldn't handle all of that stuff. I couldn't like swim upstream for that long.
Well, do you think that affected who you are now as an adult? The fact that you had to follow a bunch of rules back then? Maybe that's why you're such a rebel now?
Am I a rebel now?
I think so.
Thank you. Yeah, probably. I mean, like all of that shit affects who you are as an adult.
Yeah.
I think like all that time following other people's rules is like, okay, I need to, because I don't know who I am. I'm only 25 and I was following other people's rules for so long. So
yeah, I like Robert Sapolsky's take on it. He's a Stanford behavioral psychologist. And he says that, like, you know, everything that you're doing right now is a direct reflection of something that happened to you in the past. Mm-hmm. He's like, it's all you are. You're just a machine that things happen to you and you respond to them. And you're responding to them based off of the history that you had. And the cool thing about the brain is you also filter out a lot of things. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the things that are happening around you right now, you're filtering them out so that you can focus on one thing. So if you start thinking about that too, there's so much shit that affects who you are that you have no clue, but it's, you know, it's in your vicinity. And I think that's another reason they say that you are the sum total of the people around you, because all this stuff's always going in your brain and it's hitting your subconscious. It's not actually hitting your conscious.
Yeah. It's cool stuff. I took I eventually minored in ethics when I was in college because I had that accounting degree, whatever. And then I had some extra time like when I was a senior. And so I added this minor in philosophy, not ethics, cool. But I took quite a few ethics courses. And
what is ethics? What is that?
It's, I don't want to like say it wrong and disappoint my professor. It's like thinking about like right and wrong and like how to be a good human basically. And so you look at all these different philosophers and how do you lead an ethical life? Yeah. So that was sort of what I was like interested in.
So what do you think about that? How do you live an ethical life? Like don't hurt animals, obviously.
Yeah. I like what is it? I don't remember which.
Humans?
One of the philosophies is you do the right thing in the right way at the right time.
Okay. But what determines what's right?
Yeah, exactly. It's sticky.
So I was having this conversation with a friend of mine a while back, she was talking about her son. Her son was doing something, and I was like, "That's wrong. You understand that, right?" And she's like, "What makes it wrong?" And I was like, "Fuck, that's a good point." But I was like, I think it's wrong because he's hurting another child. But she was on her team son, right? Because it's her kid. And I was like, no, he should not be hitting this other kid. That's wrong. And I was like, you have to tell him that it's wrong or he's going to keep doing it. And she got mad at me.
Yeah, I think like don't cause intentional harm. Like that's a pretty good one.
That's a good rule, yeah.
And it's also like there are so many things like eating meat that cause a lot of harm. And like, so every action that you do, like you're sort of like endorsing something. So like if you're buying from Walmart, you're supporting them with your dollars. If you're eating meat from like McDonald's, whatever, Taco Bell, you're supporting factory farming. And so I thought about like, do I want to, like, I don't think factory farming is good. I don't want to support it at all. I can't say that I'm like, I can't be an ethical person and still contribute to this.
Yeah.
And if you like look like the thing that like animals can feel pain, they have a life that is capable of being made better or worse, just like humans can like feel fear. Like, oh my gosh, the lamb's like walking up, like being forced up to the they scream, they like try to run away. It's a whole thing, and like you just so easily like for me, it's easy for me to like switch the places. So that's sort of what I like. That's the exercise that I like to do is just like flip flop us. Because there, but for the grace of God, go I. That's a thing that I have taken very much to heart.
Say that again.
There, but for the grace of God, go I. So sort of like how all of your actions are the product of stuff that's happened to you. If we were to switch consciousness, like whatever I would do next would make entirely, it would just make sense because of what I've been through before. Same like if someone murders their rapist, it's like you would do the exact same thing in their situation given their upbringing.
Right. I think they should do that anyway.
Yes. But like women are getting jail time for doing that.
Dead men tell no tales.
They should just die.
That's a Johnny Depp movie. Yeah. Ethics. That's what we're talking about. Or philosophy. What's like, how did you like philosophy? I love philosophy.
Yeah. And it's really, that's like religion and philosophy are like, so interconnected.
Yeah. Philosophical discussions, I think, are a blast. I made some people mad the other night. It's a thing. It recurs. There were three guys. This is a huge pet peeve of mine. Okay. 3 guys sitting at a table outside. I'm outside just, over listening to the conversation. I chime in, interject in one of their dull spots. And one of the guys turned to me and he said, "We are 3 philosophy students from this university." He said the university. And I was just automatically in my head, I went, if you have to tell me your credentials before the conversation even starts, you're over. You're done. I'm going to eat you. Yeah. So the conversation didn't go well on his part. And I was like, dude, you're a philosophy major. Come on the podcast. We'll talk about it. I love those discussions. So I was enjoying the conversation they were having anyway, but it was about Jesus Christ. They were talking about like this person, and I had my own thoughts on who Jesus Christ was and what he was. They didn't like that at all, but I think it's fun to have those conversations, like thinking in that abstract way about things that, potentially do exist on this planet is a creative thing in itself. Yeah.
And it's like, how do you know that you're living your life in the way that you want to live it if you're not understanding all the implication or if you don't understand what you're doing?
Yeah, I think most people are just going with the flow. They're listening to what they've been told and they're just going with that. But I enjoy thinking about life and trying to live in a way that I philosophize. Well, Clara, where can the people find you at on the socials?
I am Sad House Cats on Instagram and Sad House Cat on Twitter and Venmo.
Nice. And get at her for some of these cookies too.
Oh yes, please purchase cookies.
What do you like? Do you sell them at your shows and stuff, or how does that work?
So I'm gonna start selling them. If you want to sell them here at a markup, that would be awesome.
We could probably do that. We might do that.
But
I'll look into it. Like the city has so many stupid permits you got to get for stuff like that. Yeah. Just for selling food, it's crazy. But I will look into it.
That makes sense. Thank you. So see about cafes. I haven't I only just passed out all the free samples to places, but you can also purchase them from me.
They're very delicious.
Just message me on Instagram or whatever.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Come see your open mics and stuff. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. Tuesdays here.
Tuesdays here. And then you're all over the city.
Yeah. I'm on a show tonight. Not that this podcast is going to be up.
No.
But yeah.
Is it like a recurring show?
No, this is Super Stand Up Sunday tonight.
Okay.
But normally I would be at Hi Ho on Sundays.
Dope.
But I'm not doing other stuff.
We'll have you on again.
Cool.
Thanks,
Looking
Claire.
forward to it. Thank you.